I'm Mike, the property tax guy. Now, property taxes don't just fund your schools and your roads. They decide if families can afford to live in their homes. Some fight back with appeals. Others end up paying more than their neighbor with the same roof. These are their stories.
Talk property tax for just a second, because apparently there are some people out there, Elon Musk and some others, that are in favor of eliminating property taxes. Now, truthfully, my gut reaction when I hear that is heck yes, because I think it should be possible for an individual or a family to actually own their land, to own their home. Because with property taxes, you really never do. You never do, because you have to pay them forever. And if you don't pay them, they can take your house that you own. But here's the thing, I don't want to discount the argument of funding public goods, because without fail, people will freak out and be like, well, no, it funds fire and roads and schools. You really want to defund the schools? And honestly, this is what drives me nuts about like political or economic arguments in general, is that people are not open to the question of, is there a better way to do this? My question is
And, and,
not,
and I
should we
want to,
defund the schools?
I'm going to stop right there. Sorry, I want to stop right there. Is there a better way to do this? That's what he asked. Is there a better way to do this? Now, some states, they have a possibility of doing it the better way. You really have to look at how much income does a particular state bring in, and do they have the possibility of abolishing property taxes? And do they have the capability? What's the revenue? What's the budget? These are the type of things to look at. Like, for example, California brings in a lot of income for the state, but they're in a budget deficit right now. I don't know how. I don't know what's going on in California. We know. But the thing about it, New York too at the same time. It's a lot of income that comes into New York. It's a lot of revenue that comes here. Where's all the money going? I don't know. You can also take a look at Florida. Florida has a lot of income. Now with Florida, Florida brings in around, see, the governor of Florida talked about abolishing all property taxes. And the reason why is because the state of Florida brings in roughly $360 billion in tourism attraction and tourism. Now, how the state of Florida would deem to disperse that amongst the localities in the state, that's a different story, because you got to see these local things has to get funded, like your 911 operators, your policemen, the people that work in the state, and I'm sorry, in the city locality, whatever, doing different things like trash, the teachers, the school, like everything that involves like that's specific to the county. Like you can say, oh, city of Virginia Beach, anything that's city of Virginia Beach, that's the property of city of Virginia Beach as far as employees and whatever functions they do. Those pretty much is what your property taxes are funding. The schools and everybody that's a city employee, and also the infrastructure of the area. So when you abolish something, you have to be able to make it up on somewhere. So I think what this gentleman is saying is just like, look, we want. I'm not. I want. I'm against property taxes, but I want to find a better way to do it. What can we bring? How is there a better way? And that's a very tricky question, because every state is different. I know in localities you really can't. You don't really have that leeway like that, because usually in localities, real estate assessments and real estate, the property taxes bring in roughly 40% of that locality's income. And the rest of it is off of tickets and fines and fees and license applications and this, that, and the third, and that's not much chunk of anything, what I'm saying? So I'm not advocating for, you know, to pay more property taxes, but I'm just being truthful and honest. This is where the money is coming from, and you have to be participating in your city council in the locality, because sometimes if there's a budget deficit, sometimes they will increase the property tax rate to cover that, and you paying more in taxes. So if the assessments is going up and property taxes is going up, you can go to the city council, and a lot of city councils do this. You can get a group of people go there, get some people in the community, like, look, we're paying too much, lower the tax rate. Because if you're paying $300,000, if you have a house that has a $300,000 assessment, if you have $1.20 tax rate, you can be paying a lot more money than somebody that has a 90-cent tax rate on a $300,000 house. You'll be paying for pretty much a house that's worth 120. That's just because of the property taxes. The property tax rate is so low. That's how beneficial it is. But a lot of people don't know that.
I don't want to do that. My question is, should property taxes be the thing funding the schools? What about people without kids? What about people with kids that have aged out of the public school system? What about people who don't have their kids in the public school system? Should the ability of someone to own a home and their property be tied to a public good that they are not receiving a benefit from?
But though I agree with that, but at the same time, and he presents a very good argument, but it's an argument that a lot of people make too as well, because you got to think about it. Our federal taxes that come out of our check is going to Social Security, going to FICA, whatever. FICA is going to, like I said, Social Security, different types of income that we, you know, all these different types of things that the federal government sometimes use our money for that we don't have no involvement in, and we don't get any type of say in. They just take it and pull it. And same thing for state too as well. In most states, they'll pull their income out of your check, and it's going to Timbuktu. We don't know where it go. We don't know where it's going, and that's the thing. So taxes is always going to be an ongoing thing. I mean, it's been going on since ancient Egypt. So it's on. I think that's the best thing is to figure out now is how to get the best bang for your buck within the fighting against the tax rate or fighting against the taxes. What's the best way to get this lowered? So that's pretty much how I see it. I definitely agree. I definitely agree and think that it's sometimes it can just be astronomical. It can be extreme.
I hear you want to eliminate property taxes in the state of Michigan. Me too. I think property ownership is fundamental to individual freedom. I think property taxes infringe upon that and is something that should absolutely be eliminated in order to number one, protect freedom and ownership of private property. And there's got to be a better way. Now, eliminating property taxes in the state of Michigan is a very challenging process. Now, we've had a long conversation in previous videos from people, and obviously people are very uninformed on how this can happen, so I'm going to go over it very quickly and very briefly, but there's two ways that this could happen. The first way is a ballot initiative to change the Michigan Constitution, because property taxes are part of the Michigan Constitution. You have to collect roughly 440,000 signatures. That's the minimum. You better collect way more than that if you expect to have all valid signatures and actually get your proposal onto the next general election ballot for the general population to vote. Yes, they want to adopt the measure, or no, they want to reject it.
So pretty much just government stuff. All right. So sign a document. You gotta have this many minimum signatures and this, that, and the third. Like it's a lot to go into it. Of trying to get property taxes eliminated. Obviously, he's talking about for the state of Michigan. Every state is different as about how they govern laws and things of that nature. My thing is, property taxes will really never be eliminated until you find a way to replace what's going to make up for that income that's going to supplement for the local services in that area. It would never happen until that happens. Like I said before, Florida may have a plan, and if it's going to be any state that does it, it's going to be Florida. No matter if you have a small state, it's not even gonna happen for a small state like Hawaii. It ain't gonna happen for a small state. I'm not sure if the natives there though get some type of exemption. I'm not sure. I think they do. But it's not gonna happen for a small state like Hawaii. It's not gonna happen for a small state like Rhode Island and things of that nature. It's not gonna really happen, like even if it's a small state, because you have to take in consideration is that where is the money gonna go to be able to fund the local things to keep the community up and running. Them guys, the men and women that fix the roads, they're not gonna be fixing no potholes for free. You know what I'm saying? And no, everybody's not gonna come together to let's all work together like Bob the Builder and fix this hole. That ain't happening. People got their families they're going home to. Everybody is me first and the me mentality. I understand, but only state that's actually going to lead the way and show us how to do that, if possible, will be Florida. Now, a lot of states won't be able to implement what Florida do. Who else is bringing in that much income as far as tourism? Only people that can argue that is probably Florida, like I said, California, but just some crap going over there now. New York, maybe Nevada because of Las Vegas, but I doubt it. Because Las Vegas is the only city that brings in that much income. So that's pretty much how I see it. And yeah, I mean, it just won't happen. It just won't happen.
The property taxes here in Illinois have gotten absolutely insane. Like they've always been insane, but they've gotten insaner. And like there's actually nothing even enjoyable about this state. Like our school district has gotten worse, our crime rate has gotten worse, and where they get the audacity to keep raising my property taxes from it, I don't know.
And that's the thing too. Like your property taxes are a reflection what people are buying in the market. You know, so a lot of people be like, look, all these investors and BlackRock coming in, but you can literally go to your public. I'm not trying to sound biased because I work for the assessor's office, but I'm also an appraiser. So I removed this. I removed the assessor's office and put on my appraiser hat right now. You can also too as well go to your locality, go to the assessor's office and see the sales in your neighborhood that are making up the values. You know what I'm saying? So if a lot of times there are families, there are people that have different types of loans, like FHA renovation loan. So to have that FHA renovation loan, that family moves in, they want to renovate their home. That also affects your value too as well. And you have to bring that into consideration and think about that, because these are the things that's affecting the value of your home. But if you are to attend your city council meetings, you can get the property tax rate lowered. I keep stressing this because, and I probably said it like 3 or 4 times throughout this video, is because you have a say. You can do something about this. You can go. A lot of people don't even show up to them. Nobody votes no more. Nobody votes. They don't care. They only care about the national government. Trump, Kamala, Biden, and Obama, and whoever else is going to run next, and all these different people. That's the only thing people care about. Your national government, yes, that it matters, but your local government affects so much more. If you have a business, they affect how much you're paying in your taxes for your application, your fees. You have to vote. You have to go to your city council meeting and let your name be heard. I mean, and put it on your calendar when the next city council meeting is, so you can see what's going on. Say, hey, can we get a lower tax rate? Elect your councilman and different things like that. Those elections come up. You got to be careful. You got to watch these things, because this is money going inside certain people's pockets. But you can't, not saying her individually, but most people, you can't complain and not be involved. Be involved so your complaint can be heard. But that's all I got for you guys. I'm Mike, the property tax guy. I'm a realtor and appraiser, and I also work for the assessor's office. Have a blessed day.